Hey, here are the Sons of Libertas. We are still on the European Students for Liberty conference in Berlin. We are here with Matt Kibbe from FreedomWorks. Hey, Mr. Kibbe, thanks for having you again.
Good to see you.
We had you last, I would say, 3 or 4 months ago in Munich. We had an interview. How is it going in the States and how is the development and with your work and FreedomWorks?
I think there's a lot more energy today than there was even 4 months ago, and you're seeing it in the emerging candidacy of Rand Paul. You're seeing it in a number of other liberty candidates who are accomplishing a lot of things. And we'll probably talk about this in a minute, but the trend in American opinion about NSA overreaches and snooping on Americans' phone calls is one small example of that. We keep growing, and I think it's going to be hard to put the genie back in the bottle.
Yeah. You talk about growing. How is the libertarian movement, especially the European Students for Liberty, growing?
Well, I think this conference is a great example. They seem to double in size every year, and if you map that out in 10 years, we're going to be pretty impactful. And I think that's very much driven by the internet and social media and the ability of people to watch an interview on YouTube and then go get the books and then go connect with other people that think the same thing. And you're seeing the spontaneous emergence of a community for liberty that's never been there before.
During your performance, you told a story about Justin March. Can you introduce Justin March to the crowd, and maybe somebody doesn't know him?
Justin Amash is a second-term congressman from Michigan, and he's a self-described libertarian. He got involved in politics in a way that normally congressmen couldn't expect to win. He had all of the establishment running against him. He had none of the money advantages, but somehow or another he beat the establishment by connecting with grassroots and talking quite boldly about the ideas of liberty, challenging the NSA and all of the things he does. His history is interesting because he actually was realizing he wasn't quite Republican, he certainly wasn't a Democrat, so he Googled his ideas. He just wrote down what he was thinking, and F.A. Hayek pops up. And that's how he became a libertarian pretty late in life when he was in his 30s.
Okay. Is it true that he has a picture of Mary Rothbard in his office?
He has a picture of Murray Rothbard and Karl Menger and a number of other favorite Austrian economists.
In the work with FreedomWorks, you support mainly Rand Paul. How is it going with him and the NSA scandal and all the stuff which belongs to that?
So we joined, FreedomWorks officially joined Rand Paul in a class action lawsuit against President Obama and the NSA, arguing that they had violated our fundamental Fourth Amendment rights to privacy by scooping up all of our phone metadata, literally since 2006. It's hard to sue the federal government, but we think we've structured a class action lawsuit that has a lot of credibility. And we hope to get it to the Supreme Court. A judge in December made comments that make us very optimistic that the courts will hear our argument and will be sympathetic to them.
Would you give us a little view of your opinion, how you see the future and how is it going with the libertarian movement especially?
Well, I think it's both an opportunity and a burden because we now matter. The New York Times is taking us seriously, but they're also shooting at us. We're big, we're impacting elections, we're growing as a community, and that's the good part. The bad part is that centralized government is pushing back, and you have this clash. It's almost a paradigm clash between these two cultures. We have to be smart, and we have to be committed to getting to the next level. We have to be conscious of how we communicate our ideas so that we can grow the community and bring more people in who might be skeptical of us right now.
Yeah, that's how we see it too, that the informations are out. We just have to bring them to the people. This is the important part of our view, how we see it. How do you see it, the development in Germany, and how is it going with the government in Germany, and do you have any impression of that?
You got a lot of work ahead of you.
Yeah, that's true. Could you just give us one advice for young people? How could they spread the message of liberty?
I think it's all about social media, and I think it's about using YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and being accommodating to new people that are trying to learn. Libertarians too often are so pure, sometimes they like to push other people out of the room. I think we need to think about growing our community and not always arguing about the 5% we disagree on and focusing on that 95%.
Where do you see the libertarian movement in 5 years?
I'll tell you in 5 years, it's either going to be the biggest opportunity or the biggest disappointment, because the problem is government can only get so big. There is a tipping point where we may not be able to fight back if they take away basic liberties from us. So we gotta push now.
In which country do you see the most important country in our point of view, especially America? Because in Germany, for sure, there's so much socialism, and especially in Europe too. You are our only hope.
No pressure though, right? No, I agree. I think America has to be part of that model, and if we succeed, I think that encourages other people, and we can export some of those strategies and methods and see how they work elsewhere.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for having you, and hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.